Alright, here's a typical surface mount telephone jack. You can see it just has the standard telephone connection on it. Sometimes you might also find the wall plate connections have one wire for voice, one wire for data. Most likely it's all just category 5 cabling. The tricky part about these old jacks is that they usually don't use the category 5 colors. They use the old category 3 telephone colors. And so I want to take a moment to explain how all this works, just in case you need to do some troubleshooting. Whenever I plug a toner into this jack to generate a tone signal, it's most likely going to be on the center pair, which on this particular jack is currently hooked up to the blue-white pair of the category 5 cable. But I want to show you these colors here on the jack. So you can see here on the telephone jack we've got a yellow, a green, a red, and a black connection. Now these other two here, the white and the blue, those are pretty rare, so I'm not going to actually talk about those because your traditional telephone jack is going to just have these 4 connections on it. But you can see these colors don't really match up with the category 5 cable. Instead, what you do is you hook up the orange to the yellow, the white-blue to the green, the blue-white to the red, and the white-orange to the black. That's pretty standard, and that's what you should expect a telephone jack to look like when you open it. If it doesn't look that way, go ahead and make it wired that way, so that way you know in the future that the yellow and black connection is always going to correspond to the orange and the white-orange connection in the wiring closet. Most analog telephones, and like I said, the toner earlier, are always going to use this center pair of connections, the white-blue pair, or the red and green. But on the Panasonic phone system, the digital phones use this pair instead, pin 1 and pin 4, the outer pair of connections instead of the center pair connections. And that's why it's very important to make sure whatever color wires in the category 5 cable that these 2 pins are hooked up to, that's what you're going to use for the Panasonic digital phones in order to work. As you can see here, there's also a green pair and a brown pair that's been kind of coiled up here on the end of the cable. That's also pretty typical. Category 5 cables had those extra pairs on it, and so whenever a phone system was installed in the past, it was likely they just coiled those pairs up so that someone else can use them later. If for any reason over the years somebody's done something really strange with the telephone wiring, just remember all you need is 1 pair of wires to get you from the phone system in the wiring closet out here to this phone jack on pin 1 and pin 4. So whatever you can put a tone on these wires and find it in that back closet, if you have to rewire to make this jack or all the jacks work, do whatever you need to do. All you need is 1 pair to get from that wiring closet out here to the Panasonic digital phone on pin 1 and pin 4, or in this telephone jack, the yellow and the black.